How the streaming starts.
Ooh. I like that too. You're on a roll tonight.
It's wonderful.
I love it. Did
Is
you
the
say
mic
that
on?
loud?
And now the streaming starts.
So you should save that. We've got to copyright that or trademark it.
We should, totally. I gotta write that down now.
Yeah, please do.
So I don't forget that.
That's good. So living
It
the
just popped into my head today.
living the stream. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Woo, I'm ready for the after show. Can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
I love me some hangovers because there's no pressure. I don't have to drive. You know, you do all the driving.
Yep,
but
I'm controlling the screen.
you
We're
read all
good.
the comments. I don't have to do
It's
anything.
it's more chill.
But kick back, relax in the house, enjoy some bevies, hang out with my barber papa.
We've got Wiki Bobby here, William Rochelle, Jennifer Delaney, and Jason. Hey,
Very nice.
Hey, everybody.
Very nice.
We're going to give everyone like a couple minutes to
Yeah.
creep on into the chat if there's any night owls out there that want to watch.
Let the pills kick in, you know.
William says, Tuesday I am retiring.
Oh,
Wow, that's big news.
congratulations.
Congrats. I hope you have a happy retirement.
Yeah, it seems like people that retire, when they do, it starts out being exciting, like, oh my God, I'll have all this time to do stuff. And then you realize how much time you really do have to do things, yes. And it's like, they'll do everything in a week that they wanted to do, and they're like, uh-oh.
Well, maybe they could pursue other creative endeavors.
Right. I mean, that becomes a new challenge.
And
I've
some
noticed,
retired
yeah.
people, maybe they work like a little part-time job or do something
A lot of people go just to do
part-time,
something and to
just
be around people.
to do
and-
something, or maybe to help supplement if they're needing a little
Well,
more money.
Yeah, and you're right, but
Yeah.
at least you're not like, you know, you have to like be, you have to be somewhere 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, anymore. But that must be nice.
William says, I'm starting a horror host show. Don't do it.
Why not?
I'm just kidding.
Hey, go for it, I say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Start a YouTube channel. Why not? Start a podcast, a show, whatever you want to do. Cool. All right. So Bone Jangler's here. Greg
All
Tominski's
right.
here. Mofei Chen, Raymond, Ed, Jonathan Jackson's here.
All the
Insane
people that
Jay.
matter are here right now.
Night Owls, hoot hoot.
I love it, yes.
He's there with his hooters.
The hardcore.
Hoot, Louie's here. Do you want more treats?
I said
Louie?
hardcore, so there's Lou.
Louie. Here, buddy.
Oh, boy.
He's off camera, looking around for more treats. So I'm letting him have some more
Yeah,
snacks.
these last few weeks and privately have been brutal as far as work goes and some of the personal stuff we got going on. But we're handling it.
Getting through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like anybody
we'll,
else.
We'll save that. Maybe Sunday night we should do a podcast.
Oh, do a download with that?
And just download everything.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Just spill the
small
tea.
talking right now. Spill the tea.
All right,
And the rest of the alphabet. All right.
let's introduce ourselves.
Hey, what's buzzing, cousins? What's going on? I'm Grim Gory, your
And
funky monkey.
Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
And I'm Janet Decay, your yummy mummy.
That's right. And together we're hosting the Mummy and the Monkeys
Hairy Scary
Hangover. Oh my God. Oh boy, what a hangover.
And this is our after show chat show. Earlier this evening we hosted the movie The Phantom in the House from 1929.
Reluctantly. Yeah.
And, it was just like this weird old, like, drama, who did it, like, who done it.
Who did it? Who cares?
Yeah.
I still don't know who did it. Somebody did it.
I don't know.
Someone done something, and that's all that matters. But the main point with every Hairy Scary Hangout, no matter how good or bad of the movie we
The
have
sound
to show,
effects.
no, it's that we're hanging out together as like a little, dysfunctional family.
And
you
we're
know?
getting through the movie together.
Yeah,
Yes.
People, look, we've already had it. We've already seen it. We sometimes have to unexpectedly like cancel a night, and boy, we get some emails like,
Oh,
I had everything ready for this Friday, and you're not going to be on. It's like, wow. It's like, and it's flattering, but at the same time, trust me, it affects us
because sometimes we feel bad about not being able to host a show some weeks.
we don't take.
And then, like, sometimes when we get a comment like that, it's like, dude,
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
let us have a day off.
Well, but
chill.
but it is a test. Look,
Go watch a different movie.
But it reminds me of when I was a kid. When I was a wee monkey. Like when my favorite shows, late night shows, especially the movie or horror hosted shows, would be preempted by like a football game or a baseball game, like Superhost.
Oh yeah, that's
And I'd
true.
be, like,
Because
all bummed out.
sometimes sports ball would get in the way of
Even
watching the movies.
Even like the Big Chuck and Little John or Houlihan and Big Chuck show, there'd be like Wimbledon was a big thing at night, and they would preempt the show. Sometimes it would air later, but if Wimbledon went on from like 11 to like 3 in the morning, there's just no Houlihan and Big Chuck
Well,
show.
real quick, David Hayes commented that Superhost is not in the TV anymore, right here on the set.
Yeah, he noticed that. He's an eye for detail.
I actually had to move Superhost because fabric next to electronics probably wasn't a good idea. And earlier today, I smelled some type of plastic burning smell. Though. I don't know if it was Soup. It looks like he's okay.
We'll get him back up on the main set behind us.
I was like, well, maybe I should rearrange some things and move some things away from these lights.
And that's one of our most prized possessions. It was put together by the stellar Tony Beller. Yeah. And he gifted it to us, which I couldn't believe. I was like, it's very nice.
So, yeah, I just have, like, this is a handcrafted Jason mask. Made by Richard Wise.
Oh, yes.
I believe
he
made
one of those
that.
In there, huh?
Yeah, and then I've got the little, the hand sticking out. I've always had the hand
That's not the hand. That's not, his are hanging up there.
No, I think this is a different... Oh,
no. That's a generic one you have in there.
Oh, maybe that's a generic one.
Yeah.
His are hanging up.
Yeah,
My bad.
We have his on the Wall of Fame over there.
Yeah, they're hanging up on the other wall.
We have a wall full of, like, cool horror host related and...
Well, someone gave us that. I don't know where that
That Jason mask?
Yeah.
That's a generic Jason mask.
Well, I'm trying to remember where that came from.
Maybe Jason gave it. He's looking for it.
Maybe.
Which translates to, where's my damn mask?
Maybe that's what happened.
Anyway, gets back on the train here.
Okay, so we're going to talk about like movies and shows that we've watched, and if you guys want to talk about some movies and shows that you've seen recently, go for it. I watched The Conjuring 2 the other day.
All of it, or just some of it?
I watched most of
Enough of it.
Enough of it.
Is that possible? I guess so.
It was decent. I think it's enjoyable for what it is.
Yeah, it's not like it was Goodfellas where you just can't... You have to watch
some people
all
are like, oh my god, it's so creepy.
No, but you were saying you thought it was better than the other one or something like that? Was it good?
Well, we watched The Nun like a year or so ago.
It wasn't so bad.
And that one was all right. I think I liked The Nun a little bit better than The Conjuring 2, which I think we watched them out of order. And The Conjuring 1 I watched a long time ago, but I watched The Conjuring 2 on Tubi, and it was based off of the Poltergeist. What family was it? The Enfield Poltergeist. It was there's a story. It took place in the 1970s.
Of a man named Brady. Sorry.
It took place in the 1970s in England. There was like a single mom with her kids running a house, an old house, and I guess...
Was there a phantom in the house? Sorry.
The kids saw stuff moving around, like furniture moving around. They would hear noises. The one little girl was supposedly like possessed. So then this movie that's based off of this true story is has lots of Exorcist vibes. The possessed little girl, a demon type of thing, and then you've got the creepy nun showing up later. It's enjoyable to watch, but it didn't come off as, it was just like more of like that Exorcist, like Amityville stuff, in my opinion. So but I thought it was still enjoyable.
So something that's dawned on me, like right this second, and I'm sure a lot of people other people have deduced this over the years, but even the Salem witch trial thing, when people were doing this Salem witch trial stuff in this country, a lot of it, mental illness is something that's very seriously addressed now. It's like every other person has some sort of mental illness, right? They
say, like, I heard it on the radio recently on one of the college stations. Like 50% of the population has had something at one point in their lives.
And you could probably bet it might be more than that. So that's a lot. So if that's the percentage, let's say, in any given society, no matter how big or small it is, I would have to imagine, and especially before people understood what mental illness was, even all the degrees of it, the gamut of what it could be, they would just chalk up, because superstition is a good gap filler, right? I mean, you have to use something to explain something. Hey, that person's talking incoherently. They're possessed by the devil. No, they are having a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
But no one knew what psychotic episode was.
None of that stuff was...
diagnosed
back in the day, like they didn't know what all that was.
Who had the right?
Someone's talking crazy and they have multiple personalities. Oh, right. It must be demons.
So think about that. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of that fueled a lot, and that just kind of piled up over the centuries, even up into modern times. You don't hear a lot about that now because it probably has to do with actual human-based mental illness.
It's extremely rare for them to want to investigate or perform an exorcism nowadays.
Between that or exposed to something that was talking about the Catholic Church, I'm talking about in general, right?
Yeah.
Like, the Catholic Church has their own.
Well, we're talking about like
possession.
Well, like possession and
still,
hauntings.
There's still
and,
people. Well, but how much of it is like given to like the imagination, which is very fertile in some people,
Especially in younger people, where maybe if they have a bad dream, they might wake up and think they saw something.
Right. So between actual mental illnesses and fertile imaginations, I mean, if this stuff was true, it would be easily
I'm not saying that not all of these stories are untrue, because maybe there are some things that can be unexplained. I'm open to the idea that maybe something could be haunted, only because we've experienced a few things.
What does that mean, though? We still don't. But there could be like they say, like the old saying, there could be a logical explanation for the unexplained. In other words, it's not as
most of the time
supernatural as it is something that we just don't know what it is.
Be explained, but sometimes they are still unexplainable.
And maybe one day the supernatural will be just as normal as the natural. It's just they coexist.
Paranormal and normal would exist together.
Perhaps that's what it is.
Maybe. And there's a ton of comments here, so I'm going to scroll up a little bit.
This is the show, I'm telling you.
And read some comments.
Maybe we should just do this every Friday night.
Maybe. Jim Hearn says, I just got home, missed the movie, but made it to the Hangover. I will see the movie tomorrow. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, it's up to you. Go for it.
Love the sound effects, says Neil. We were talking about the movie earlier.
I can't tell you. I would never show that movie without some sort of alteration to it. There's no way. I wouldn't feel good about myself. Yeah.
And Neil says, I hated it when shows got canceled that I like.
Well, you don't have to worry about this show getting canceled unless YouTube pulls the plug entirely,
or if we need a day off,
or if we decide to just stop doing it. But yeah. Well, shows getting canceled. Well, there you go. I mean,
and Bone Jangler says our Chicagoland creature features was always getting shifted around or pushed back because of sports.
Yeah, that was always the one thing. Yeah, because sports are still to this day. Sports are where the money is. It's the only thing keeping any networks afloat. Sports, actual sporting events.
And Rebel Ghoul says I watched The Nun 2 and actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't poo-poo any of that stuff. It's they're fun to watch for sure, but.
And Bone Jangler says the first Conjuring is the best one in his opinion.
I think I saw that one. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Tubi has a lot of horror films. They have a good selection, and we found a lot of stuff on there to watch. I like the Conjuring 75.
That was my favorite one. The 75th one was amazing.
Jim says I missed the. Oh wait, already.
You read that one.
Yeah. Let's see.
And I said you didn't miss anything.
William Rochelle says, in some cultures, mental illness meant you were touched by God.
Yes, that's the other thing too. Or
some people thought maybe it was like a special gift if you were a little different.
Or even deformities, things like that.
Yeah.
In some countries, without saying the country.
In some exotic places.
You don't say the country because you have to go through the whole rigmarole. But but like some sort of physical deformities, they thought that was some sort of a. Because, hey, this kid's got 6 arms. That looks like our God, or whatever,
Yeah, like a deity.
Yeah. So
they thought it was something holy and sacred. Yeah. And they were treated, different.
I just think it's interesting. And I said the same thing about the eclipse, how as advanced as we think we are now, we can understand how to work a cell phone. We can understand the basics of how an electric car works. Even if you didn't design the car, someone doesn't have to over-explain to you how it works. But that doesn't stop that same person from believing in, like, aliens or UFOs. It's like, there's just enough superstition
and there's a lot of things still,
it's interesting.
With all of the stuff that we know, there's still a lot of things that are unexplained.
Right. But they can be explained.
There's so many people around the world who have seen, who have claimed to see, who have seen ghosts or experienced something that was unexplainable. Maybe they saw an unidentified flying object. They didn't know what it was. Yeah. So there's still a lot of things that we haven't figured out.
And there's a time when a volcano blew and they didn't know they didn't have a word for the volcano. They had not a word for lava. They didn't have a word for the force of the lava. They didn't know what to think. Mm-hmm. But we know now it's just a volcano exploding. But to them, it was this amazing thing that brought destruction.
Well, it's still pretty amazing.
It still is, but when you had no reference for that...
I mean, if you didn't know how and why it was doing that...
So, there were times like that in human history. So, of course, all that power...
And Mother Nature's angrier,
Right. There's no... Yeah. So, that's the place... So, I've always said, like, aliens and some other things, I won't say what they are placeholders for what we don't know. Until they're explained. Mm-hmm. Of course, we kind of chuckle and I go, "Oh, it was just it was Pompeii. It was a, it was a volcano." But back then, they didn't know. They didn't know to run from that.
Yeah.
They didn't understand. And now they're on exhibit in some museum.
Okay, Christopher says, "Fun show tonight. Loved the retro commercials. Do you remember the series Werewolf or Friday the 13th, the series?"
Yes and yes.
About the cursed antique shop. I think they both should be remade. Oh.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Those originals, though, remakes are tough. I prefer the originals most of the time.
Well, Werewolf starred your favorite guy, Chuck Connors from.
Oh yeah, I do like Chuck Connors.
And Tourist Trap.
Tourist Trap, one of the best movies.
He was a good werewolf, and he was like I think it all started on a ship. He was like not a pirate, but it was like a sailing ship. And he was like an old ship guy, and he was a werewolf dude on there. And I think he came into some port and turned this young guy into a werewolf. But it's a good series. It was an 80s series, television series.
Yeah.
And Friday the 13th,
Wasn't that a cable?
What? Which one?
The Friday the 13th
No,
one?
it was Fox 19.
Oh, I kept thinking it was on cable TV.
I was
trying to remember.
But it was a Fox 19.
I didn't actually watch that when it was on TV. I think I watched it years later.
Freddy's Nightmares, Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side is a great
Friday
show.
the 13th, 21 Jump Street. I was a huge...
The Grither. That's my favorite episode, The Grither.
We watched that one not too long ago.
It's really messed up.
But 19 really did a good job. Well, whatever it was called, Fox was the name of the network. But in Cleveland, the number was WOIO Channel 19. Every affiliate. Yeah. But it was Fox. When there was a big controversy. Oh, another network. You're going to compete with NBC, ABC.
Right,
and they came out with Married with Children. I mean, they had some huge hits.
Oh, Married with Children's a great show.
In Living Color.
In Living Color was fun.
That's right. That's where you get this guy. You get.
Oh, you got
Homie don't play that.
Homie the Clown right there.
Yeah. It spawned. They had a pretty strong run when they first came. They came out hitting hard.
Yeah.
Came out swinging, as they say.
James Muscarella says Dinosaur Planet is on Lord Blood-Raw's nerve-wracking theater Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Wow, 2 a.m.
Gotta stay up for that one.
On the Nostalgia Network.
I love Lord Blood.
Wow, so he's on TV at 2 a.m.
And it took me a while, but I finally figured out what his name meant.
Lord Blood Draw.
Blood Draw. It's sounds like drawing blood, not Blood Raw. Blood Draw. You're supposed to say it like.
At first I thought it was Blood Raw, like raw,
or like an Egyptian.
Yeah, or like the sun god Ra.
Right, but it's Blood Draw.
Blood Draw.
Yeah,
it's a little play on words.
Yeah,
there.
Amazing. It's a really fun show.
Yeah, Katie Seagal, Peggy Bundy, Albert Metelsky loves Peggy Bundy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
she was awesome.
Peggy, I mean, come on, even Marcy.
Marcy?
I'd throw her one.
Really?
Like if we were playing softball, I'd throw her the softball. Yeah.
She was a nerdy.
Which was it, the original Marcy or the other Marcy?
Probably the original Marcy.
Yeah, because there were two Marcy.
I think the original Marcy was the cuter.
There was one Marcy and two the husbands. What was his name?
Oh no, it was the guy. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Because the original Marcy was also in Fright Night, one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Oh, that's a great movie.
The original, not the horrible remake, but
yeah, the original 1980s Fright Night.
I haven't seen that in a while. I would love to watch it.
Haven't watched it in years.
The Howling, I'd like to see again. The original.
I think the last time I saw that, it was on a VHS tape.
The Howling or
Fright Night.
Yeah, and Friday Night 2, I don't think I've seen even longer, so I need to watch that one. I forget if that's any good. But back to what someone was saying about Friday the 13th. Now, that was the television series that had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees. I don't even know why they called it that. That's so strange, because...
Well, maybe if they remade it, it would...
Yeah, but how would you...
Be more involved with Jason stuff. I don't know.
No. The Friday the 13th series had nothing to do with that. It was about cursed objects sold out of a pawn
that's
shop.
what I'm saying. If they remade it, maybe they would do it completely different.
It's totally...
Because the person that commented about that was talking about possibly, like, it'd be great if those were remade.
But as No, remake the premise of the Friday the 13th Fox,
Oh, so keep
Fox
the
show.
same premise.
Yeah, it has
but
nothing
sometimes
to do
when
with
they
that.
remake things, they change it around completely.
Yeah, but that's two different.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe
that's two
that
different
could happen.
Yeah, but you can't. Look, you'd have to have somebody really good if you're going to make a Jason series. You mean? Mm-hmm. Ugh, boy.
Maybe.
How would I mean, the movies barely keep up. Jason X is one of the better Jason movies.
Jennifer Delaney says I had a crush on Chris from Fright Night.
Oh, everybody on that show.
He was cute.
Chris was the kid. Was the kid, right?
The dude.
The young dude.
The young dude.
Yeah. Chris, what was his name? Brewster?
Oh, I don't remember the full name.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
I'm so bad with names.
Never Evil?
So,
you don't remember the movie?
Evil?
Oh.
Like I told you, I haven't seen it in over 20 years.
Evil at all.
I need to watch it again.
Evil.
But what I remember, I liked.
You really need to.
Because it had the horror host guy that was a vampire hunter.
Yeah, Roddy McDowell played him.
Yes, I remember that.
He was all tired and
the vampire guy was next door.
Yep. Moved in and they figured
I remember most of it. I don't remember all the little details.
So
I haven't seen it in over 20 years. Okay, Logan's Run, the TV show. Speaking of TV shows, that's one that you've been watching, and I was watching a little bit with you.
Well, this definitely is one that must have. It came out in the late 70s, like with Battlestar Galactica. The movie this is based on is actually very good with Michael York and the girl. I forgot the actress's name. Bone Jangler will know it. Who played the female lead in the movie Logan's Run, was also an American Werewolf in London, a British actress.
And Albert, or someone, was that Albert? Someone asked if we like American Werewolf in London.
Oh, love it.
That's a great movie.
I saw that movie for the first time in the theater with Mama Monkey, and we both... I mean, I have to give Mama Monkey all the credit for everything that you see here today. She turned me on to horror hosts like Big Chuck Houlihan and Big Chuck back in the early 70s. Sat me down in front of the TV because she didn't care about me. No, she enjoyed those things too. She liked all those horror movies.
How fun.
Planet of Blood, Them, we used to watch, and Superhost. She was into that stuff too. And we would go see movies like sci-fi, horror, comedy, doesn't matter. But yeah, I saw that movie and her I still remember some of her reactions to some of the stuff. Like, one of the best special effects ever is when, in American Werewolf in London, when he attacked his friend on the, when he turned into the werewolf and he killed his friend. I think his name was his name Jack? Or was Jack the werewolf guy? I forget the name.
I don't remember.
Doesn't matter, but he killed his best friend in the movie. No, spoiler alert. So, the cool thing about the American Werewolf in London movie was that his victims would haunt him. Like, he'd be like
the ghosts. Their ghosts would come back.
So his friend came back. He's all his throat's torn out, right? And he's in the hospital. Jack's in the hospital. Jack's the guy, the name of the character, of the main character, the werewolf guy. He's sitting there in the hospital, and they brought him breakfast. And so his friend sits down. He's like gray with his throat torn out. And he goes, "How you doing, man?" He dips toast. I'll never forget. He dips toast in eggs, in the runny eggs. Eats it, and you see the food go like right down his throat.
Oh,
it's so good.
Yucky.
Kudos to Rick Baker.
Yeah,
on that
the effects, the practical effects are amazing. The transformations.
The hands are nobody. The hair.
So good.
You saw the hair coming out of the
skin.
Craziness.
Anyway. So there's a comment going back to Logan's Run. David Hayes says the girl on the Logan's Run TV show,
different girl,
was, I believe, the oldest daughter on The Sound of Music.
She might have been, and her name Menzies was the last name. But she's an American actress. I guess they had in Sound of Music. There were a bunch of American actors.
Yeah.
But her last name, I forget her first name, but her last name was Menzies. I remember that because the way you reacted to her last name. But she was also married. Yeah,
that's a different name.
She was married to Robert Urich from was it Dan Spencer for Hire? Was he Dan Tana too? He might have been. But anyway, she died of brain cancer, the actress in the TV show, like in 2007 or something like that. Anyway, going back to the movie. I love the movie. It was something I definitely saw on late night TV as a kid. It would come on like on Channel 5. For some reason, I remember that.
Yeah, I never watched the show, but now I'm watching it a little bit with you.
So I was hip to Battlestar Galactica as far as, sci-fi. Buck Rogers in the 21st century.
Oh, I love Buck Rogers.
25th century was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I don't remember the Logan's Run TV show
What was the name of the little robot from Buck Rogers?
Tweaky.
Tweaky.
Voice voiced by Mel Blanc.
Mel Blanc, and then the girl robot. What was her name? There was a girl robot later.
Booty, she would say.
Booty, booty, booty.
Yeah, and he would go bitty, bitty, bitty,
Bitty, bitty, bitty, bitty.
She would go booty, booty. I forgot her name. That was a goofy thing they did later.
It was so funny.
But okay, so love the original Logan's Run movie, and then but this one I don't remember so much as a kid. I would have remembered because watching this now, besides the very annoying theme song,
the theme song is Okay, stop it. That's enough.
It's really worse than that.
We have to mute it because it's so agitating.
Yeah,
I've never heard of a theme song that bad.
And a lot of the...
What were they thinking?
Not only that, but a lot of the sound effects and music, and the sound design in this is very annoying. I don't know who was smoking what back then.
Yeah.
And they even use some of the standard staple Star Trek, like when the door opens.
So they took sound effects from Star Trek and Star Wars?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Hanna-Barbera owns those because that's on a bunch of the sound effects that I have.
Yeah.
All those Star Trek from the cartoon, they have all on their CD. Anyway, but the TV show, it reminds me of the Buck Rogers TV show in the way it looks.
It's kind of cheesy.
The feel, very cheesy.
But it's entertaining, and I like the android, the robot people.
There's a guy,
and stuff.
It's like Data from, Next Generation.
Yeah.
It's just a guy, except he's not all pale. He's just like, hey, let's just call this guy an android. Okay, that's cool. This actor. It's not a horrible show. It's got a lot of
Once
guest stars.
Once you get past the theme song.
I'm like maybe, it's only lasted one season. But I'm like maybe it's like 6 episodes into it. And I saw Kim Cattrall, a very young Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City, as you all know.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason, the guys on Mystery Science, the early version with Joel, they're in love with her. They always make Kim Cattrall references because she's in a few of the
they must have a crush on her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. But there's interesting, guest, like Love Boat, but not as guesty. But there are some people that I'm like, hey, that's a young so-and-so. And the main girl in here wears just like in the movie, wears a very short miniskirt, dress.
Oh, of course.
That just kind of stops right there.
Sure.
So, and then every episode has another, hottie in it. It was just a jiggle fest, the show. I get it. Now I know why, but I don't remember it.
Was the Hot Lady Sci-Fi show.
I remember Linda Carter. I remember Erin Gray for Buck Rogers and Linda Carter Wonder Woman. I don't remember Menzies from Logan's Run.
Well,
but
if you could get Logan's Run somewhere, check it out.
I'm watching it now, so if you hear me panting, I'm probably watching Logan's Run. Anyway, no, just kidding. No, but it's
don't play the theme song and we're okay.
Get the mute button ready.
Yeah. Oh my. No, don't do it.
Look it up on YouTube. It's probably on YouTube. You'll see.
I was yelling at you. I'm like, shut that
me too.
off.
I can't take it either. It's on the beginning and the end. It's bookended with that. I guess they thought it sounded like space sounds. I don't know. But Logan's Run, y'all.
David Phillips says, in terms of films, the Cleveland Cinematique is putting on its Halloween in April. One of the films that played, its second run was tonight, was Jennifer's Body, 2009 film.
Oh, that's a Megan Fox movie, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
I think I have that somewhere.
Yeah, it was popular when it came out, I think. I just haven't seen it. And I remember it was in the Walmart $5 bin years ago.
She's not the most, let's say, gifted actress as far as talent goes.
Very wooden.
Very wooden.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she's attractive, and that's why people like her. But she's not.
It's like all you need to know is that introduction scene in the Transformers movie. That's all you need to see.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't like those movies.
Leaning over a
But I mean, it was the Transformers movies were mostly for kiddos who like robots.
The first Transformers movie was pretty good. I mean,
I didn't like them at all.
The first one was
They
good.
moved too fast. I didn't like the effects.
I liked it.
No,
I kind of liked it.
I hated it
actually. The first one's okay. Then
but I never got really into Transformers.
Well, why not?
I know they're robots.
It's Japanese based.
Disguise. I know some of them look cool. I just never got into it.
Turning into stuff.
Okay, Lois says Mel Blanc was on the set voicing Tweaky for the actor's benefit and often had him saying some very rude, obnoxious things.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, that would be funny to hear that.
Beady, 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 beady.
Like the outtakes of that.
Buck. What rhymes with buck? Beady, 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 beady. I love it, yeah. And I thought, because in the second season, Buck Rogers in the 25th century only lasted 2 seasons. The first season's solid. The second one's kind of goofy because they're on this thing called the Seeker, a star ship, where they're going to different planets. It's still good and cheesy, but it's not as good as the first season.
No, it's definitely not as good.
But then Tweaky talks like this.
Yeah, they gave Tweaky a different voice.
I thought, because Mel
Blanc was having health problems or something.
I thought it was he left.
No,
he had health issues.
He had health issues, and he couldn't do it.
And I think with Mel Blanc, you couldn't find a sound-alike with him. Because if you think about it, same thing happened.
He had a very unique voice.
No. But you can but people imitate that stuff. I can kind of do Tweaky.
Okay, well,
like Barney.
But so why did they use a different voice?
I think
why did they try to match it?
Because Mel's whole thing, he probably had it in his contract. I'm guessing.
We don't know this.
Well,
we're just making a guess.
Explain the Barney Rebel.
I don't know.
The first iteration of the Flintstones.
Okay.
It's hey Fred, how you doing? That's Mel Blanc.
And then the next one's like, hey, Fred, how's it going? I'm Bonnie.
Yeah, that's right. He did get a different voice.
Totally different. Why?
So maybe his voice was copyright or something.
I think Mel had his voice protected.
Had certain things.
Yeah. I would wait.
Probably.
I don't know for sure.
It's kind of like when...
but I would guess that.
When,
Hey, Book.
Who are those, actresses and actors that also were dancers and they had their legs insured?
Well, that's insured. But yeah, but Mel Blanc made millions off of voices.
Yes, so it was to protect himself.
So I would imagine if he invented a voice...
If that happened.
It's like anything else. It would be like if you went to an artist and said, create a character, and if you could protect that character that you created, which is very rare, then Mel must have had something in his contract that said, if I create a voice, I own it. And you have to pay me if you want to replicate it. And if they don't want to replicate it, they have someone go, hey, I'm Tweaky now. It's like, no, you're not.
No, that voice, the new voice was awful.
Because it's so night and day.
I lost interest in Buck Rogers during season 2 because
I know.
It's not the same.
You were so hyped after we watched season 1.
I loved season 1.
And it's like, you're like, what's
season
this?
2, I'm like, this isn't very good.
Really bad.
Let's watch something else.
Goofy robot. Hello, Buck. He was terrible.
It was awful.
With a long neck. I forget his name, but... I got a new book in the mail.
Lois says the studio was going to overdub the Tweaky voice later, and Blanc was always trying to crack the actress up, and it worked. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to read more about it, but between the Barney voice that he did originally and then the Tweaky voice and the second voices they used were so different, I was going to assume that it had to do with rights or some sort of,
Oh, he was hospitalized during the Flintstones. That's why they had someone do his voice for a while. So he had, I guess, in and out of health things.
Yeah, but they went
from "Hi Fred" to
"Hey Fred, how you doing?"
It's like totally different. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They could find someone to imitate him. Rich Little was alive.
So what book you got there?
So I got a book in the mail. So this whole
you read books?
I look at them. This is a big picture book, which is good.
He's just gonna look at the pictures.
I do read. Yes, I do. But anyway, this actress, Barbara Payton. I first got into her from a movie that we showed, and one I watched forever but never paid attention to until I had to edit it for our show.
And what movie was that?
Bride of the Gorilla with Raymond Burr.
Oh, that's right. She was in that movie.
Lon Chaney Jr.'s in it, and Barbara Payton. And for some reason, I don't know what it was. I was editing putting the film together, or putting sound effects. And the more I looked at her, I'm like, who is this? Like, I was like... why is this not like Jane Mansfield or Marilyn Monroe? There was something about her that, out of all the other stuff, I don't know how to say it, but there was something interesting. So I did a little research.
Well, she had that glamorous blonde bombshell.
All natural, no lip fillers.
Yeah.
No Botox.
No plastic surgery.
But I'm like, who is this person? This actress, I've never what became of her? How come she didn't, at least get Mansfield famous? And I read about why, and it's incredibly crazy. Her life.
Well, she pretty much ruined her life.
But I think it's not all her fault.
She had some issues, some mental illness that went
on top of things that happened to her.
She didn't
when she
get
was
the
very
help
young.
she needed, she was abused when she was young. We'll just say that
by older people.
Yes,
let's just say that, and it messed with her. It's really bad.
It messed with her head.
She played both sides, though. She was, very cool and seemed to be very receptive to being popular, but didn't handle it that well and gave her money away constantly, did a lot, got sucked in,
drank too much.
Got caught, no. It was,
too many drugs.
It was everything.
All the drugs.
Everything was just there. The men she was with, you couldn't... She was with a guy named Francho.
The people that she was with treated her like crap.
Yeah. Francho Tone and another dude. Oh, what's his name? Something. It was this tough guy who was in the Bela Lugosi movie where he ran that sort of flop house. And he was killing people in the flop house. He had the real tough guy working for him.
Oh,
what was that one
The
called?
Missing Corpse or something?
Yes. Yeah.
So she was with that guy.
She was with the tough guy in that movie that Bela hired.
Yeah.
And also with this guy named Francho Tone, who was a very pinky guy with drink is very high society guy. Two different guys altogether. She actually got them the tough guy to beat the. They wound up fighting, and he almost killed the guy that she was with.
Wow.
And she wound up with the muscle guy, but also loved Francho for whatever reason. Older gentleman. Crazy life story. She went from possibly being the before Marilyn Monroe.
She could have been like the next Marilyn Monroe before Marilyn Monroe.
To literally Skid Row. It's really sad. But I got this really cool picture book, Barbara Payton, A Life in Pictures. And it's, again, I knew there was something more about this life than what meets the eye, than your average actress or actor that you see all the time. And I was right. It was crazy, but I haven't even cracked it open yet, so I'm interested. I've read a couple of her autobiographies, or her biographies.
Yeah, you had a couple of her other books about her life, and you told me things, and I looked through them a little bit.
It's unbelievable.
Ooh, messed up stories.
It's sad, and you're like, this went on in the 50s and 60s?
That's the tragic side of Hollywood. Yeah. Sometimes... the
Hollywood Babylon, they call that.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, if you want to do some interesting reading, I would say look up Barbara Payton, and you're not going to believe it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
I've got a couple books similar to that about Betty Page's life.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know.
She also had, not as bad as Barbara Payton, but she also had some things going on.
She did.
Yep.
And the problem, not the problem, but the thing where people will look at her work and go, well, what's she complaining about? Look what she did. Yeah, but it was all tasteful. It was all playful. It was, she... there was one thing that she would make a lot of her own costumes and swimsuits, and a swimsuit company pretty much ripped off all of her ideas. They had her model her swimsuits, used that for the catalog, started getting them made and would sell them and would keep the money, and Betty had no royalties from it. Yeah,
they paid her for the photo shoot, but then they were making these bikinis that she made.
I think what she suffered from
swimsuits
were her nude stuff and her BDSM stuff.
Well, the fetish stuff.
People looked at that.
But let's not.
Well, I'm just
saying, I don't want to get too into it on YouTube. Yeah.
But I'm saying people would look at that and go, "Well, this is what you're into?" No, it's all photography. It's not reality.
It's just for a photo. It's just modeling.
Right. That wasn't her lifestyle at all.
But it doesn't. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm explaining that, and so, but because even to this day, people, and it's going to get worse with AI.
Yeah, Betty Page was awesome.
Fantasy and reality are two different things, folks. So.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
No, I'm just saying, but that line is getting.
I didn't know.
But it's not about you. It's like that. But that you're not saying that line hasn't been blurred like so much.
What I don't like right now on social media is people were sharing those fake movie posters and believing it to be real.
It ain't gonna get better. It's gonna.
And
get
then
worse.
People are getting all confused, like, "Oh, that movie looks cool."
Yeah. Well,
it's not real.
That's been going on with like fan trailers made.
But you're right. That probably will get more confusing the more people mess with it.
So, I told you the other day, unless I'm in front of someone's face and I can smell their breath, it's going to be hard. And even then, I might have to question if they're real or not. Like with Terminator, bad breath, oily skin. Who knows what's going to be in another 25, 30, 100 years from now? Who knows what's going to be real?
The robots will take over.
Well,
they're already starting.
the people in the 50s were right.
All right, so
we got to get robot insurance, like the SNL skit.
Let's check some comments here.
Go ahead.
James Oscarella says British sci-fi TV shows The Prisoner and UFO. I don't know. I guess those are ones you like, that he likes.
There was a series that those are supposed to be, UFO is supposed to be really good. And The Prisoner, both of them.
Yeah, I haven't seen
psychological, messed up stuff.
And Connie Cleary says I'm rewatching Lex, Grimm, and Farscape. Farscape, I love.
Farscape we watched from the beginning to the end. We
during the pandemic stuff,
we binged
the hell out of Farscape.
We did the whole series.
We watched all of it plus the movies.
Peacekeeper Wars, and then the final. The end was it was satisfying. It ended very nicely.
It did.
But I told you, I said you got to watch this. I think you'll like it.
Oh, I fell in love with it. I loved Pilot.
Yeah.
I loved, and Henson Studios.
Oh, Pilot was your favorite.
I love the puppets. I love the practical effects, the costumes, the makeup.
All of them, yeah.
I am in love with
Chiana.
Chiana was so cool.
Yeah, and the one that got killed, the blue lady.
Oh, the blue lady. What's her name?
Shoot, I can't think.
Plant lady.
I'm trying to think, but anyway.
She was like bald, and she was kind of like a monk or something.
Yeah. But
like a priestess.
And there was some kind of again, when they try to stretch something out, and then it just gets Scorpius. You got to like him.
Oh, Scorpius was freaky. But then later on, he wasn't as scary.
The Cenobite stepchild.
Yeah.
With that thing in his head, his little
really
fluid.
And the whole show had like a weird. You could definitely tell it was made in the late '90s, early 2000s. It had that cyberpunk look.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to take place, in this otherworldly, thing, but...
And I think I rented some of the last episodes before I watched it with you, when I watched it before, on DVD, and they had one of the best, and saddest, I say best and sad in a way, but behind-the-scenes thing, because everything you see, obviously, in Hollywood is a set, and if it's not the CGI now, but it used to be a physical set, right?
Yes.
And they... For Farscape,
they built all these giant sets, these massive props,
and then at the end of the series,
they threw it all away.
They had to tear them. You're like,
they tore everything down
because it's on a soundstage. They can't leave it up forever. But
that made me sad.
We watched some of that?
We
right?
watched it, and it was
they literally were just dismantling this stuff and just tearing it up, breaking it down, and throwing it in the dumpster.
It was in studios in New Zealand.
Yeah, what are you going to do with all that? They
filmed everything in New Zealand.
They can't warehouse all.
And a lot of the actors were
if someone wanted
from the area.
If someone wanted to pay to own it's like storage units stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for that stuff to sit. What are you going to do with it? You can't
put it in your house and have a Farscape house.
This stuff was 20 feet high. Anyway, but it was Farscape is a great
Set it
show.
up in your backyard. Have a Farscape backyard.
If someone will give it to you.
I mean, it'd be better than throwing it away. Just like.
But you're talking about lots of stuff.
Put those giant props in your backyard.
I know but still. But if you're looking for a good sci-fi to watch, Farscape would definitely.
Oh, Farscape! I love the puppets, the characters. It's so freaking weird. I love it.
Yeah, but Crichton, Ben Browder, who turns him and Claudia Black turn up in one of the Marvel movies. They're the Adam Warlock people, the Gold Race people.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Ben
so they got to be in a movie together again.
And those two turn up in a couple episodes, if not a season, of what's it called? With the
what?
Stargate. Stargate.
SG-9. I never watched.
That's when but that's supposed to be
I have not watched
too.
it yet.
That's supposed to be a
and
good
everyone's
one too.
like a couple people are commenting Space 1999.
That was the boring show.
They liked that one. I couldn't get into it.
As a kid,
I tried to watch it and I fell asleep.
But I would watch it because it had space stuff in it.
Yeah.
And Maya, the woman that could turn into different space monsters, I love that. I would watch it now and totally get into it because I can tolerate the more, it's like bourbon versus Coca-Cola, Yeah. It's like Coke, you as a kid, you want everything to be... But it's other stuff you have to graduate to. I think Space 1999 is probably a little more sophisticated.
I don't know. I
Space
didn't
drama.
Like it.
It's not pew stuff.
I love Star Trek.
I think it's probably more on a Doctor Who level.
I love Star Trek. Doctor Who, I never got into Doctor Who.
I loved it.
Honestly.
Love it.
Some of the new ones you were watching, I watched a little bit with you.
You're missing out.
They're okay.
You're missing out.
I never got into Doctor Who.
Not to mention...
I know that's blasphemy to some people.
Yeah, but it's so...
Because there's a ton of Who fans out there.
Because I think if you like Farscape, then you'll love Doctor Who.
You would think, but I don't.
Doctor Who's a little better than that. It's actually a lot better.
I like Farscape better because I like the puppets.
There's a lot of practical and...
Do they have puppets in Doctor Who?
In the old stuff, in the anything before...
Well, maybe the old stuff
early 2000s.
I would like.
Oh, yeah, it's all practical.
Yeah, I don't...
The Tom Baker stuff, that was my first...
I want to see more puppets.
A lot of people my age, that was their first Doctor, was Tom Baker on, on PBS, or on their, on networks like that. But but the new Doctor Who's, especially David Tennant, people love his Doctor Who run, the most popular one. But the stories are good, and not to mention the spin-offs like Torchwood, and there's another one, the mysteries with the other one of his the older Doctor's ex-partners. But it's all good, and I like British TV and crime dramas and stuff anyway.
Yeah, some of those are interesting. It's just I never got into it, and some episodes are good. Like I totally understand why people like it. It's just not my thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like Taylor Swift. I can see why people like her. It's just not my thing. You know?
Really? You're the one listening to her whole album this week.
So everyone in the news and everything is talking about it. So I'm like, well, what's all the hype about? Let me go on YouTube and listen to her new songs.
It's pure hype.
And I'm like, that's not for me.
Be careful. We probably have a lot of Swifties in the chat tonight. We don't want to offend anybody.
You know, who am I to judge? Because, you know, the girl's a billionaire.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she's talented.
She must have some talent to become a billionaire.
Well, that kind of thing.
Right?
Whatever.
But
so
again,
does that make somebody good because they can buy and sell people?
Everyone has different opinions, so I'm not going to judge.
What did Bill Hicks say? Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am upset.
You just want to be angry.
I don't want to be. I want
well,
to be
you sound
happy.
like
me. I have an opinion makes me angry.
Well, no, you just sound like a little like. Rawr.
Well, I'm talking.
Like, get off my lawn, Taylor Swift.
No, I don't hate her. I just don't get it. It's just not for me.
It's not my
You're the
thing.
one that said it, not me. I might be a Swiftie. You don't know.
It's totally fine if people
Why
are
doesn't
Swifties.
she endorse Swifter?
Oh, boy.
Taylor Swift for Swifter. That'd be
Swiffer?
perfect. Swiffer, whatever it's called.
It's called Swiffer.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Swiffer.
Yeah, it's a broom
I don't use that crap.
thing.
I don't sweep up.
No, you don't, because I'm always cleaning up after you.
I don't clean anything. That's right. And I admit it.
But you're a better cook, so.
Taylor Swift for Swiffer.
Okay, so let's see.
Hi, Louie.
There's some more comments here. David Hayes says, Space 1999 turned weird quick. I liked some concepts. I loved the Mission Impossible leads and the man who chased the fugitive.
Yes, he's talking about Barbara Bain and Martin Landau, who are from Mission Impossible. And the funny thing about, again, going back to Mama Monkey, I used to watch Mission Impossible TV show when I was a kid, and my mother thought it was funny, or Mama Monkey thought it was funny, that in some of this, because the whole thing was that they would wear disguises. And she was like, how did Martin Landau go from being 6'2" to like a 5-foot like Mexican guy? They would be in disguise. Oh. She thought that was funny, like, because...
like they changed size.
It would be a different actor totally.
Oh, okay.
Body shape, tight, but it was supposed to be that character in disguise.
That's funny.
And she would comment on that.
Like she could tell it's a different person.
Well, you could, and she would just like, but how do you change this? Like it's different if you change like the color of your skin or your hair, but how are you 5 foot from 6 foot? But there he was. He was supposed to be this little short guy, and then he's back to Martin Landau. But she would point that stuff out, and she was always funny and critical about stuff, kind of like me. That's where I get that from.
I could tell.
Oh yeah, you know it.
I could tell. Okay, James Mascarella says Sunday mornings at 6 a.m. on MeTV, Thunderbirds. He likes watching Thunderbirds.
I've never gotten to that puppet show.
I like Thunderbirds.
That's Uncanny Valley.
But it is kind of Uncanny Valley, a little creepy.
As a kid even, it didn't fascinate me.
But I do like them, and I watched... I
didn't hate it, I just wasn't into it.
I think it was on Tubi a long time ago, a documentary about the making of Thunderbirds. Yeah. And I thought it was incredibly fascinating how they made the props and everything, and the marionettes, and... I thought it was really... I think I liked that more than the actual show.
You know...
the making of.
It's weird because as a wee ape, I loved animation. I was consumed by comic books and animation. You know, traditional, like, animation. And, but the when it came to, like, puppets, like, Gumby was... I loved it.
Oh, I loved Gumby.
But...
yeah.
And Rankin Bass stuff, you know, any of the holiday specials.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
But Thunderbirds, maybe it's because it wasn't so... I don't think it really... It probably was on, but I don't remember it very well. Like, it wasn't, like, something that... Even if it was, I didn't catch my fancy. Maybe I just kind of drew the line there. I was like, I don't remember it that well. Didn't grow up with it. There were some cartoons and entertainment, obviously, that were just before me in the early 70s. Johnny Sacco, you know, Giant Robot was one of my favorite
Yeah, someone
things.
mentioned that earlier.
Oh, my God.
Johnny Sacco and Spectre Man. But,
Spectre Man was later, but I did love Spectre Man.
Time is getting late. So
I'll be up another 2 hours talking.
you
to
can stay up and chat with Louie and our friends here if you like. But
I'm gonna watch. I've been watching Justified, City Primeval. That's my because I watched the first all of the and then now that it came. What was it? Who has it? FX or whoever came out with Justified. It got released on DVD, so I got it from the library. So I got to finish that up tonight. I might watch some more episodes tonight.
So, well, there you go.
Yeah, so Justified Primeval with Timothy Oliphant. It's really good. I mean,
Timothy Elephant.
Oily Fant. Oliphant, not elephant, but his production company has elephant logos. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It sounds close. But yeah, I recommend. So far, so messed up and pretty good.
Cool. All right, so guys, we're probably gonna wrap this up soon because I am one tired little mummy. My batteries are running low.
But you went a good while tonight, a good clip.
I did. I was okay for a while.
Anything else in the comments you want to wrap up with, or is that good? We're good. I love creepy puppets, says Rebel Ghoul. I like them now, too.
And Elaine loves Thunderbirds.
No offense, Cliff, wherever you are.
And Jonathan Jackson says, Tim Elephant is great, but he is always typecasted as the cowboy.
Well, he's
yeah, I guess he has a cowboy look.
He must weigh like 110 pounds. He's a very thin little guy.
That's very slight.
And he got this giant.
Yeah.
But he's in Deadwood too, which we need to get back to watch.
Yeah, I want to watch more of Deadwood.
He's the goodish guy in that movie.
I enjoyed that series with Calamity Jane and.
Oh yeah, and what's his name? It was
cool.
The bad guy. Yeah, I love him so much.
It was so messed up.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, we kind of tapped out. Not on purpose. We just
started watching other things and got distracted.
But we need to catch back.
Ooh, a shiny new show. A new DVD.
But I would love to get back to that. Grab some whiskey and watch, and pretend you're back in the old west.
Grab your cowboy hat and your spurs.
Some dust in my face and be like, we're back there. Everyone was all dirty and gross. I love it.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for joining our little hangover chat here. If you like chatting with us, please hit the like button. There's 54 viewers. Can we get 54 likes? Please. We would appreciate it. Yeah. And you can subscribe to the channel and click the little bell for notifications. That way anytime we go live or upload a video, you out there, yes you, will be the first to be notified.
Well, that's right. You want to catch some fun entertainment tomorrow evening, check out themonsterchannel.com. They got a great lineup they got Penny Dreadful in the afternoon, then it goes into another movie, and then into Kung Fu Theater, the Daytime Dungeon with the Bone Jangler, and Master Greg, and then the Bone Jangler show. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys. Mwah! Good night, good fright. See ya.
Louis says good night.
Yep, Louis wants cuddles.